reformed? Well, when the NHS was instituted in the 1940s, it was a lean, efficient organisation run by the matrons and the doctors and the nurses with modest help from the almoners department and the hospital management committees. Now it is a nightmare bureaucracy consisting of tens of thousands of professional careerist administrators, officials and clerks. Now, something destructive happens to organisations when they grow too large. They cease to exist for the sake of the people they were created to serve, and they come to exist for the benefit of the people who work in them. The NHS now exists only incidentally for the health of the patients. It is really there to serve the interests of its managers and employees. In a casual and innocent remark the other week, Ed Miliband gave the game away. He said that the proposed reforms of the NHS would offend those who work in it. And what is true of the NHS is also true of the state education system, which does not exist for the good of the pupils. Otherwise, standards of achievement would not be so disgracefully low. By its own admission, the Education Department says that 43% of children are leaving school after 11 years of compulsory state education, unable to read, write and count. Standards of literacy and numeracy in this country now are actually worse than they were in 1870. And as with the NHS, so with the state education system, it doesn't exist for the benefit of pupils, but for its own employees, especially the powerful teaching unions and the useless army of educational bureaucrats.
Reverend Mullen.
The incurable problem, I'll answer you afterwards, shut up now. The incurable problems in the NHS and the schools are the product of a deeper malaise in the government itself. I suppose, in our innocence, we all like to imagine that governments have as their top priority trying to run the country efficiently and fairly. Individual governments and parties, let's admit this, may disagree how this is to be achieved, but that is not the point, because all modern governments are in essence the same. Like the armies of bureaucrats in the NHS and the education system, they do not work for the public good, but they work in their own interest. And the top priority of every government is to preserve its members in power, and so to order their doings that with luck they will win the next election. And the mechanism which they all employ to achieve this depressing aim has two main parts. The first part is a self-serving bureaucracy, which for all the governments since the Second World War sees its job as the managed decline of our country and keeping up appearances. And the second part is a function of the first, and it is propaganda. So they operate by bureaucracy and propaganda, spin, smoke and mirrors, or to put it another way, by self-preservation and advertisement. Reform is impossible. Not in the NHS, not in state education, not in the scandalous benefits culture, which creates a socialist client state, not in the relentless growth in the number of civil servants, all at the public expense, not in immigration policy, not in the proper enactment of the criminal justice system. So what will the future be like? What will our future be? I'm talking about the next few years. Decline and decay. Because other countries do not conduct their affairs as incompetently and wastefully as we do. Particularly the eastern countries, India and China, and then Brazil, and other rapidly developing nations in South America. They will expand, outstrip, and surpass us. And we shall become poor and unhappy. We will be a laughingstock and a byword among the nations. The corruption of all our institutions will increase. Our public services and infrastructure, already dire, will decay beyond repair. In short, give us another 10 years and we shall be a third world country with a rising Muslim dominant population. Instead of aiding and abetting this decline by his insane denunciations, it would be nice if the Archbishop occasionally would perform a Christian gesture. He might pray for us.